You know, in my opinion, tales of science fiction are some of the best to have ever been told, but that's not why I love the genre so very much. I love sci-fi because of the sheer amount of difference you can get from one story to the next. You can get everything from epic fantasy to post-apocalyptic action to tales about how everything will end up okay in the end, all standing shoulder to shoulder on a bookshelf. Personally, I'm a big fan of that last one, which is why I think that the Mass Effect series from Canadian developer BioWare is not only one of my favorite video game franchises of all time, but one of my favorite sci-fi IPs of all time. And for someone who simply craves lore and world building as much as I do, Mass Effect has really impressed me. And I think it's a universe that deserves some exploration. Today we're going to start things off a little easy and talk about how humanity expanded throughout the solar system. Let's get started. Mass Effect's universe takes place in one almost identical to ours. That's to say that pretty much everything that's happened up to the present day in our universe has also happened in Mass Effect's. The future is where things start to diverge. In the latter half of the 21st century, humanity began exploring the solar system around them in earnest, and in 2069, the first permanent otherworldly settlement was founded in Shackleton Crater on Luna, our moon. The settlement was appropriately named the Armstrong Outpost, after Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon. However, this was the only official settlement founded by humans for just under 35 years, and a lot of very rich, very ambitious people on Earth were growing very restless. Private ventures began popping up left and right, the most notable of which being founded by billionaire Victor Manswell in 2070. In 2075, he successfully launched his Manswell expedition, with 300 cryogenically frozen colonists bound for the Alpha Centauri system, 4.73 light-years away from Sol, our solar system. Communications were unfortunately lost with Manswell's ship, and it was thought lost for just under 100 years. They were eventually found live and well, settling that colony on Alpha Centauri, and they were reintegrated back into humanity. Back in our solar system, the next permanent settlement was founded in Eos Chasma on Mars in 2103 by the European Space Agency. Lowell City, as it was called, challenged the other nations of Earth, and permanent settlements from both the American and Chinese governments were on Mars in less than a decade. These settlements paved the way for numerous other outposts throughout Sol, the most notable of which being a structure built out near Pluto called Gagarin Station, named after Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. This space station, more commonly called Jump Zero, was constructed in 2142, and it got its nickname because it was the launching point for many failed attempts at faster-than-light, or FTL, travel. The station eventually became home of experiments deemed too dangerous for more populated areas, and it's where humanity developed both artificial intelligence and biotics, both of which I'll talk about later. Back on Mars, satellites near a far southern plateau called Promethe Planum started to report some really strange phenomenon that couldn't easily be explained. That whole region of the planet became infamous, and it garnered a reputation similar to Earth's Bermuda Triangle or Dragon's Triangle. However, its notoriety didn't scare everyone off, and in 2148, a team of prospectors led by a man named Mateus Silva started scouring the area for useful materials or minerals they could mine. What they found near Destado Crater, however, wasn't what they were expecting, and it changed everything. The source of all that bizarre activity wasn't mystical or magical in origin. It was extraterrestrial. As in alien. You know, like Greys or Klingons. Xenomorphs? You get the idea. Silva and his team found an ancient, abandoned alien ruin on Mars, complete with starships, unknown technologies, an undiscovered element, and a computer filled to the brim with information just waiting to be deciphered. Most importantly, they'd found proof that we aren't alone in the universe. chaos erupted on Earth. News and media were dominated with discussions of this alien life, and religions tried to cope with the fact that we are not alone by either incorporating it into their dogma or denying it outright. New religions even sprung up overnight, the most popular of which being interventionary evolution, or the idea that humanity has been guided for its entire existence by aliens. Along with causing us to look inward and question ourselves, this discovery forced us to look outward and to question this alien life. Why were they here? What did they want? And most importantly, were they still out there? And while the discovery may have fractured humanity's faith in gods and religion, it strengthened the bond between men. For the first time, maybe ever, all the peoples of Earth came together. Within a year of the discovery, the 18 largest nations of Earth had come together and ratified a new treaty that authorized the creation of a new united front for all of humanity. This systems alliance pooled the political power and military might of pretty much every nation on Earth, and it was to act as the face for humanity in any galactic conversations that may or may not happen. Under the banner of this new alliance, the best and brightest humans began a global effort to try to decode the alien script found on Mars. It didn't take too long, and though what we found on that data cache was old and fragmented, what we learned still jumped our technology forward 200 years. We learned how to create FTL drives and how to harness that newly discovered element called Element Zero, or simply EZO, which in turn led to the development of biotic powers and Mass Effect field generators, both of which I'll talk about later. The data cache explained that the facility we'd found on Mars was an observation post and research station for a species called the Protheans. The facility was designed to keep an eye on Earth and on us Homo sapiens just as we were evolving 50,000 years ago. However, it had been about that long since anyone had stepped foot in that station, and the Protheans had long since vanished for unknown reasons. The most curious thing that this cache told us, however, was that this wasn't the only Prothean structure in our solar system. There was another one, orbiting the dwarf planet Pluto. In 2149, just 1 year after Silva's discovery on Mars, the second structure was found. Previously thought to just be a moon, Pluto's satellite Charon proved to be some sort of alien structure deeply frozen in ice. When activated with information from the data cache, the structure was revealed to be some sort of giant galactic slingshot. Dubbed a mass relay, numerous probes were sent through, but none had enough power for a return journey or to even send a message back. The leaders of the Systems Alliance understood that the only way to really discover what was on the other side of that mass relay, what lay beyond the edge of our own solar system, was to send somebody through it. Hey guys, this subject was just too big to fit into one episode, but the next one will be out quicker than you'd think. I hope you all enjoyed this video because it is just the first of many. If you learned something or just thought this was interesting, please don't be afraid to hit the like button or to favorite. And if you're feeling extra nice, please subscribe. If you want to be on the ball with my content, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr as well. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.